Wagwan everybody, it's your boy Jay Smooth. We are back with another episode of Smooth Talks. Today's special guest is a legend in the Knots music scene. He is the professor, but he also goes by the name of Nick Stez. Let's go! So Nick, for anyone that don't know who you are, what is it you do? Because I know a little bit about you, but not a lot.
Yeah. Basically, I produced, I play instruments, and I work with young people, developing young people, and I've done it for many years now in Nottingham. So, yeah. So, started off in the band scene. As a young person myself, tried to do music.
What instrument? Did you play instruments, or was it all just like?
Yeah, I started off on piano.
Yeah, piano.
Yeah. Which I hated as a kid. But I had like a strict Jamaican father.
Yeah.
So he was like, for some reason, he was like, yeah, you're doing it.
Yeah.
So I used to have to practice every day. And I couldn't move until
You've done your bit of it, yeah.
You just had that discipline, which I hated. Some days I'd be bawling, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I grew to kind of like love and appreciate it. And then I think it started, the music thing was like my dad's record collection, and I've got like 5 sisters and 3 brothers, so their influences.
Big family.
Yeah, big family, like everything from Dennis Brown to John Coltrane to classical, and then me going to like doing band stuff to finding like discovering hip hop, and then that kind of veered me towards production.
Okay,
Yeah.
so at what age do you remember discovering hip hop?
My first memories is early 80s. So I think it was like, because breakdance came in, that hit here. So we had a lot of breakdance crews.
You used to break?
Not really. I used
Not?
to watch and wish.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? That I could breakdance. I think I did some classes one time.
Okay.
With it was Tommy Thomas, who was in Rock City Crew.
Yeah. I'm about to say, because it's like you had the Rock City Crew back in Nottingham. You also had was it just the Assassinations?
Yeah. So it's coming from all that breakdance tradition. So that was my first beginnings of like hip hop, seeing people bringing out the lino
And dancing and just proper getting
and
it
just
in,
taking on the street, and that whole the hip hop culture hitting like Nottingham, UK. So that was my early. You couldn't avoid it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was in youth culture. It started to infuse into youth culture. So, and then there was girls in my class going, "I love LL Cool J," and that he became like a heartthrob, and do you know what I mean? So that was my beginnings, and then I started getting into Public Enemy and KRS-One, but just learning about like black history and black culture through hip hop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of sets like a strong precipice, shall we say?
Mhm.
Because it's like, so was you not introduced to like people like Eric B and Rakim or like Big Daddy Kane, or did you not?
Yeah, they came after. They came like.
So
They came later 80s.
Okay.
I'm just talking
About
like
the early
80s.
okay.
Yeah. Well, early 80s. So when I reached senior school, which was 83, I'm going back. So around there.
Okay, so what about 16, 15 type of age there? Yeah.
And then I've got a nephew in London, and he used to dance for Tim Westwood when he was young.
Oh, wicked.
But we're not that far apart in age, you know what I mean? He'd probably kill me for saying that, but he was just amazing at body popping. So Westwood used to stick him on stage in London. So when he used to come up, I used to see him dance, and I was just like, oh, okay.
So then it made your transition into it. So what made you then have the jump of, you know what, I want to take my skills of playing piano now and then jump into the realm?
Yeah, so what happened, I was in bands in Nottingham, performing in like local bars and clubs on the band scene, and we bumped into a set of like a group called MC's Logic, which was Joe Buddha, and then there was Big Trev, and then there was Black Viking, who's Courtney, who runs Take One.
Okay.
So bumped into them. No, the first person I met actually was Courtney, Black Viking, who runs Take One, because he used to work at a studio in Radford that we used to practice at. So I think he was the first person I met. and then they wanted a band to back them, so they came to us and was like, you know what, we've heard you're a good group. So because what started to happen, the bands started to fuse with hip hop. So there was a group called Brand New Evers in well, they're still around, which they were a UK band, and then they started like playing for like bands like Cypress Hill, Grand Puba, Brand Nubian. They did a lot of like, they did a record which was like a fuse of like live instrumentation and hip hop. This is before like the roots.
Yeah.
So it's that influence again, isn't it? You've seen something, you just like, that looks cool, so let's try it. So, but that was my introduction, and then started going to a high-rise flat in a Hyacinth Green, and that's where studio was born, and how I got into production. But it was by watching people do it on old samplers at that time and stuff like that.
So you follow me, try my hand and see how I do.
Yeah, it took a while. I didn't start producing till, I don't know, 92, 93.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, which seems years back when I'm saying it now, but just that transition of like, I was more playing instrumentation.
Yeah.
Or telling people, oh, that sample's out of key, because I had a good ear because of the music knowledge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because them times you had to like, it was
You
hard, you had to
yeah,
really...
there is no like it is now, where you just kind of go, ooh, punch that in, I let the computer tell me what the key is. Because it's like now, I don't know if I'd really be able to hear too much. Because I produce as well, but I won't know if I'd be able to hear too much of something out of key like that.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've got used to now, because I'm like a new gen, so we kind of just get used to sticking it in.
Yeah.
And just, boom, it just does it for you to some extent.
Yeah, and then I just got into like, you know, producers saying to me, oh, we put some strings on this or piano on this, and then, you know.
You just add it in,
Yeah, and then you watch it, and then because we formed a record label back then, which was called Represent Records, which had artists like Pure Genius, which is Black Viking, Mr. 45. It's like early Nottingham hip hop. Just coming up in that environment inspired me to like, you know what, let me learn what this sampler is. You know, we had an Atari ST running to like a reel-to-reel, like an 8-track, and just learning that whole thing and being inspired and saying, you know what, let me have a go. Do you know what I mean? So that's how my hip-hop production, that's how the roots of it started, yeah.
Okay, so you've gone through that journey now. You produced, you kind of get in the flow of things. So then what made you to make like CRS?
CRS was birthed out of, we started in a high-rise, and then we moved to Acne Centre. We was in the basement of Acne Centre for a few years. And then CRS was birthed out of that. So there was Joe Buddha, there was Black Viking, there was Courtney, and then there was a load of us, but they were the main ones that created studios. So we kind of split off. Courtney went and set up like Take One in Radford Ice and Green. Joe Buda went and did his thing, and then me and Trevor, we set up like CRS. So that was the birth of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But alongside that birth, we were the ones making music. But then what happens is people start to gravitate, young people.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, young people start coming through the door, and you're like,
it comes a bit strange, innit? Yeah.
well, but you're really good. So then it's me producing for, say, like Trev, and then, you know, we have to look at this young kid and go, well, he's really good, so we just work with him. And that's how it started, with like the young people coming in. Because at that time we were going to London and doing like Choice FM, Westwood, Kiss FM. But then back in the day you used to have the tapes, so the tapes would start floating about. Young kids hear it and go, oh, they're really doing something, and then everyone starts to gravitate. And then we had like a, I don't know, what do you call it? Like a ethos of like peer education. So if I learn the sampler, I'm going to show you how to use the sampler.
Yeah, I get you mean kind of like each one teach one type of thing. That's it,
yeah. So we're passing on the skill, and that's
the proper old school kind of hip hop vibe.
Yeah.
So I remember, because I used to break dance in it, and that kind of used to be the saying of like, each one teach one.
Mhm.
I feel like that gets lost a little bit now because
It does,
near
yeah.
enough it's a bit like now it's like everyone for themselves, innit? Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you don't have yours, then it's tough.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
do you see like the transition in that, like being from what hip hop was to
Mhm.
what it is now?
Yeah, but I think hip hop changes with society. Music changes with society. Music just reflects what's happening in society. So I think especially with the onset of technology and people, it's mad, isn't it? Because it's like in one way it's really empowering, I think, but in another way things get lost. Especially like because even with me, I learned through going to lots of different studios because that's what we had to do. So we had a little bit of gear, would make the beat, but to press it to vinyl, we used to have to go to Square Centre, we used to have to go to Mark Gamble, we used to have to go to all these studios in Nottingham and sometimes out of Nottingham. But then you're meeting these engineers, and each person you meet, they're like passing on them skills.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how you can press a kick drum? You know what I mean? And you're seeing different ways of working. And you're traveling and you're meeting. So what you're having to me is a lot of like life experiences. The only thing now, it's great because I can sit here and I can just go on YouTube and bring up Dave Pensada.
You can literally can learn everything.
Yeah.
That's how I learned, just from YouTube. I never had to go to no one per se. You can just watch YouTube videos and go, okay, if I get this software, if I do this, I do that, learn how to do da 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 da, and then you can go, oh cool, I can make my own beats now.
That's it, yeah. But
And
the only problem with that, you're traveling without moving.
Yeah.
So the only fear for me is my generation can sit here, we've got a bag of stories. I remember when we had to go da 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 da.
Yeah.
What you've been doing for 10 years? I've been sat in my bedroom
Just doing it, yeah.
doing it because I don't have to move. Do you know what I mean? And maybe it's not as bad as that, but because people, but I would say to young artists, just make sure that you're doing both. That you are still networking, that you are still like getting that gig in London or Leicester or Birmingham, and you are still like mixing both worlds, you know what I mean? So
because it's having a story to tell at the end of the day, innit?
Yeah,
Because you don't
I
want to
think
just
so.
do it all and then it's like, okay, you've done things, but what do you have to say?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no, not saying there won't be any achievements, but where's like the story? What's the cherished memory to it?
Yeah,
do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because everything, victory tastes sweeter, innit? When you have to work hard for it,
that's true.
especially if you've had to go through more mud for it as
yeah,
well.
yeah, that's true. I mean, if you're lucky and you get to work with a record label, they naturally still have them things where they're going to drag you away and then you're like, oh, you're on tour, oh, you're at this magazine, oh, you're, and you
Yeah,
move.
put you in them positions.
Yeah,
and
but
whatnot.
if you're doing it on an independent level, it's just making sure that you're moving your body and getting out there and like meeting people. Just for the joys of making music and creating.
Yeah.
Nothing more, like, even if it's just based on that, do you know what I mean?
And I feel like that gets lost as well. 'Cause some people these days don't make music just for the love of it. Some people only do it just because they know it's like it's a decent enough paycheck.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
we
yeah.
see everyone, like, obviously hip hop's always been a bit flashy, innit? So we see everyone with the big chains, the money, the girls, everything, the cars. So then you go, oh, I don't want to do that because I'm going to get paid like that, and all they have to do is just spit rhymes on a beat. I could do that. And some people do it for the wrong things, innit? So it's very rare you meet people that are like still into the music.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that's a journey as well, because like with music's amazing, but music's very painful. Art in general is pain. Most great artists have suffered in some way. Do you know what I mean? Even from like losing eyesight, hearing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Didn't they say like Beethoven was deaf, but he was,
Yeah,
I
still.
don't know if that was true, but he was creating symphonies, right? But so I just think, and you change. Do you know what I mean? Because what I did when I was younger, like you mature with it, and like, you know what I mean? You know.
It's like you were saying a bit off camera as well, like how when you was younger, innit? Well, not even when you was younger, like how you were saying, like you do your kick drums a set when you see like a new kid come and he's on FL and you're like, hey guys, this thing really good, like is this thing kicking? And it, like you say, it's kind of forced, innit? So yeah, it's all good.
Pack the frames away. Sorry.
That's all good. It's all good.
What was you saying?
So you're saying like how a new kid comes along and it's like your drum kicks just go, yours hit, but then you're like, how's his hitting harder than mine? And he's like, he's younger, and it's like,
yeah, when FL arrived, it blew my mind because, like I said, it was that. It's because you're proud, innit? Like you've been doing it for years, and then I'm having to go in, EQ, compress, triple compress, and then this kid comes in, and I don't know what the engine is in FL, but it's just crunchy. It reminds me, in fact, it reminds me of like the old. It's got the sound of like the old like MPCs and that. It's got that like real crunch and banging thingy. But yeah, it was a thing I couldn't deny. Kids were coming in, and I'd be like, oh. At first, I'd be like, you don't know about music. Well, you know, you have that running thing with young people. Well, we do. And then, but then I've had to watch and go, no, but this guy's sick. And there's a different way of sampling and a different way of working. And, you know, eventually it's like, I try and keep that open mind as I get older. It's like, I tell myself, like, I know things, but I don't know nothing. Because that's everybody. Because our sight's only like, really there, and a youth can walk in and he can pull these blinkers, he can widen them. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Teach me something. So
I was once told in it, but like someone a bit older than me in it, he was like, rather than know a lot about a little thing, try and know a little about a lot.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ever since he told me, that kind of blew my mind in it, and I was like, no, it's true. Like, rather than have all this knowledge on one thing and you can't really like go about it. So it's like, if you know a little bit about each thing, you can kind of make you more diverse as a person.
Yeah, definitely. I think working with young people as well, it was just, for me, just trying to give people shortcuts through our mistakes, struggles, and obstacles that we've faced. Because some things have changed differently, but some things don't change. Do you know what I mean? Especially in music. Like, the face of it changes, but it's still, like, there's a process, there's a business to it. Do you know what I mean?
The money, the proper business side, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, you still got to sell tickets, you still got to sell records. Like, it's still the same thing in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. And just like knowing your stuff, you know what I mean?
Because at the end of the day, if you don't have that stuff, you ain't getting no money. It don't matter how much clout you have or how much people know your name. If you're not selling the product of which you want people to buy, you're still in the same position. Really,
yeah, definitely. So with that, what you were saying, it's like, it's just sharing with young people, but knowing that I learned loads. Because my knowledge really is only off everyone I've met, everyone I've worked with. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just about even like the good people. Like, I've worked with vocalists and I've had to work really hard, and they're not, some of them are, you know, dare I say it, terrible. But what that does is you have to sit there and you have to make good of bad, and then it sharpens your skills beyond someone sometimes that can come in and just like
can just do it all in it.
And
it makes really your job hella easy, but at the same time, it's not always about being easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
But this is the thing I have to ask you as well. So obviously you learned the production side. Did you not ever want to try like the rapping side for yourself, or like did you not think, oh?
Yeah, in my mind, but I've never been great at like being a front person. That's kind of like what, because in the bands I started to sing, only because like every singer that we had either left or it didn't work out. So I was just like, you know what, I'll try it. But I was never really good front of the stage. I was always felt comfortable like in the background and just like creating and developing people. That's what I really enjoy. It became I went from like the dream of like, yeah, I'm gonna make it as a big producer and that, you know, the dreams we had. But then it started to like, I couldn't deny it because it just kept hitting me. Like, people kept walking in, and then there was another person to develop, and then it just became like a joy. And I became good at it. Do you get what I mean? And I learned how to like communicate with artists and like listen to artists, and realizing that all artists are different and people have different ways of making art, and I'm still learning that as well. So
yeah, I get that, because you've had a lot of people coming through your door, innit? A lot of names that people know now that have stepped through your door, even if some people think, right, I didn't know they come through there. But yeah, a lot of people have come through. Like, can you list off some of the names?
Well, going back, it would be like, so I started in like the Out the Ville lot, so it would be Lee Ramsey, Scorsese, Temper, Simone, God, there's so many, Charisma, Instinct, Fidel Castro. I've had, I've worked with so many people.
You've done a lot.
It's
crazy. Not seen, you've done a lot.
All the CMG lot. You know, when someone asks you now, you're thinking Narts, Young T and Bugsy, Nina Smith, Ill Manor, Beat Geeks, Jar Digger, Two Tone, Kai, Joey P. just so many.
There's so many. Like I said, you've done a lot in it.
Yeah,
like people don't realize, but you're kind of like a legend in the thing. Like you. Give you flowers. Give you credit where credit's due. Give you your flowers, bro. Because it's like without you, we may not even have a scene in Knots.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, even though it's like a cooking pot, innit?
Yeah.
You're an ingredient to the thing. Without you, we wouldn't have the sauce that we have.
Yeah.
Even though you feel yourself small, but you're a needed ingredient.
Well, what I was saying it to, I'm working with a young woman. I was saying to her, because she's doing a single, and I just helped her do like a single, a demo. And I was saying to her that I like to look at it like as a book, and I'm like the first page or the second page. So I'm connected, because that's what I believe. I believe like we all like. So I could be a part of your journey, but I'm not your. Do you get what I mean? That's why sometimes I struggle with like. I accept it and I thank you, but you know the legend thing.
Yeah, but it's true though. You know it's hard. I know what you mean, because it's a big thing to kind of like hold, but it's like you're worthy, innit? Like,
yeah.
If it wasn't true, you wouldn't be it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've worked with a lot of people, and like you say, even though you may be people's first, second, third, like page chapter in the book, you're still a chapter.
Definitely.
You're still part of the book. So
made up of all them people. Yeah. So without all them people, all them people I list, then I wouldn't be. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it all goes two ways. Everyone's connected like a spider web, innit?
Yeah,
it takes everyone to form the one thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like no one is complete in it. It takes like a village to raise a child.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? But you're part of that village.
Yeah. And I think
like giving credit where credit's due.
Thank you. I think it's like we've birthed ideas as well, because a lot of people that come to studio young and we help develop, whether it be a year or it could be 10 years, you know, because everyone's journey is different. A lot of people have left, set up studios, set up organizations, set up labels, got signed, and that's the beauty for me. It's just like they've learned something, I've learned something, and then they've took that knowledge and created their own thing. Do you know what I mean? Because Nottingham's small, so we're all birthed out of like, especially on the urban, black music. I hate the word urban, but black music, you know, it all derives from that. What we do, it's all close knit, you know, even family wise. So it's like
everyone knows someone and not really.
Like, someone's gonna pass through your doors and mix
at some point.
And 100%. So, which is a good thing.
Yeah, because it's like I say in it, everyone's connected in ways they don't know, and it's also cool because it's like even though everyone's connected, it also I feel like now we're connected, but there's a divide.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not. We're saying this off camera as well. Like my generation, innit? Everyone don't do something unless it's like it's a game for them. Like unless they're gonna get paid or it's gonna get some sort of exposure for them. No one does it simply just for like, yeah man, I'll do this one for you, innit?
Yeah.
I rock with you as a character. And boom, boom, boom. There is no like love like that no more.
Yeah.
Maybe with a few people, but not much in it. Everyone's kind of on a little ego thing to some extent, and I feel like sometimes the ego can kind of ruin people before they've even began.
Yeah. But I think it's hard to navigate, especially when you're younger, because we all have that, and you have to have a bit of that to kind of like survive within it. We had it because we were coming out of the breakdance tradition, so it was like your crew versus my crew. Do you get what I mean? And if one goes over there and joins the other crew, you're deeply hurt with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like a betrayal.
Yeah.
No, you're gone with them, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we come out of that tradition, you know, but then you put it on music, and then it's hard when you're younger to navigate. And to me, as you get older and you work with people, and you learn to kind of like
mellow out.
It mellows out, and do you know what I mean? You start to realize like. Because at the end of the day, there's room for everybody, and it's hard to just make it on your own. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You do need help. You do need support structure, even if it's going to a man and like getting your stuff mastered, or ringing someone and saying, "Yo, you've just had this deal. How did you work that out?" And give me the shortcut. And I think everyone should like at least give some jewels away, because that's the way the scene is going to prosper and like get help.
Yeah, that's the way it flourishes. Yeah. Because keeping everything all to oneself doesn't better no one, but it don't better no one really.
Yeah.
It just does the thing for the one person. And it's like, I don't know. I just feel like selfish pride can be the ruin of it sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. But it's weird, isn't it? It's perspective. Because like you're younger and you're looking at it through your lens. My lens, when I look at your like, generation, I'm just like, wow, look what they're doing with this.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I'm not saying we're not good in it.
Yeah.
We're good in the credit where credit's
No, I know
due.
you're not. I know you're not. I'm
We're
just
not
saying
good
the
in
different lenses. But, so it's interesting because you're showing me a different.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. There's a lot of struggles still that we went through. What we did. Do you know what I mean? But like you lot, I've took it, used technology, created your own platforms. Because that was our struggle. We didn't have that. It was just like one narrow.
Yeah.
You had underground, mainstream, but you had to walk down a path. So you had to do radio. You had to do like build relationships with DJs. You had to get in certain magazines to kind of like.
Whereas now you kind of don't need that. You could just get a one
Yeah.
TikTok song, boom, you think
Yeah,
it's gone.
yeah.
Or you could blow up off of one IG post or anything. You could blow up off anything nowadays.
Yeah.
It don't really have to be that like same old. You have to go to the radio, get your earplay, do a one shot because you could just literally blow up instantly.
Yeah, definitely. And like just like I'm saying with that as well, like the struggles of music, you're just constantly learning. It's like now, like my journey last year, because I've been left CRS for a year, it came to an end, and then I'm with an organisation called CYF now, still working within St. Anne's, but when I left CRS, I had to like, it's almost like starting again. And it's like, oh wow, what's this? Like, how do I navigate
that closes that chapter, so now you're like, okay, it's a fresh one, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And where do I start? What's the first pen to paper type of thing?
But what I'm trying to say is it's no different when you're young. You're trying to navigate all the ego and this and that, and the politics of music and whatever you're navigating. It's like, to me, it's never ending. You just get like, so even for me who's been sat in the studio for so long, it's like, you leave that and it's like, oh, okay, wow, like I might have to change my approach, I might have to change my game, I might have to like update certain things.
Yeah.
I might have to learn FL.
Yeah. Have you come to learning FL yet, or
I've tried, I struggle with it. I'm more Ableton and Logic, but I do, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just, I started doing my drums in FL and then exporting them out and then banging them into,
Okay. I feel like any one of them will work in it. I'm not like to me in it. If you can make music, you can make music, bro.
Yeah,
like, it's one of them ones there. It's not that deep. If the tune sounds good, the tune sounds good. If you've made it on the phone, if you've made it on laptop, computer, don't really matter. If the tune sounds good, the tune sounds good. If it's like, it's just whatever's needed in it. Because there's no thingy no more like, oh, it has to be this way. If you wanted it to be, let's say you screamed down the mic because that's how you was feeling. Who are you to like say like, I have to do it this way? You know what I mean? Because that's how you felt. That's how you wanted to create your art. So that's how your art came out.
That's very true. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
So do you feel like that's still the same from how it used to be, or is it different now? Like, do you feel like back then people would be able to have that type of expression?
Yeah, I think sometimes you had to have more expression because you were limited.
I do think back then.
Because you're trying to make a beat out of 4 seconds sampling time.
Yeah. Plus back then, innit, you had to be individual. That's one thing I have noticed from then to now. It's like now you can get away with being the same.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, it's weird, innit? Like me being a youth now, it's weird because I can see if I do my own thing, won't get as much love as if I'd probably done everyone else's thing.
Yeah.
And it's weird, innit? Because then it's like, if you're the first one to pioneer your thing, you're very loved.
Yeah.
But then there can be many people that come after you that will still be loved, but not as much as you because you're the pioneer of it.
Yeah.
But that means you could still get, not as far as them, but you could get further enough to get whatever you want to get.
Yeah.
But it's weird because no one likes what you're doing in the beginning, but then they'll love it and cherish it after.
Yeah, I think back then...
It's crazy.
It's true. Back then you had to, especially with rapping, you couldn't come with the same flow as the next man.
No, yeah.
Like you'd be called whack. You'd
whereas
like,
now it's like everyone can do it. It's like everyone... I don't know how tapped in you know with the noodle, but it's like everyone kind of does like in America side. It's like everyone will be like, no, let me stick to the UK now. So for example, for the drill side, everyone will kind of do the same flow of dun 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 like dun 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 dun. Everyone will do that same flow, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but who's gonna change and do something different? Yeah. And it's like if someone does do something different, it's like, oh,
Yeah, it's
Why are
true.
you doing so different? No one likes that. Da, 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 da. Oh, you should do that. Da, 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 and everyone hates it. And then that person feels like, oh, probably I should just stick to doing.
I think back in the day, though, the difference is, if I'm really honest, I think it seemed. I think we had that back in the day, but we didn't have platforms that show it, so we weren't exposed to it. So now you can see 50, 60, 70, 80 rappers a day doing the same flow. Where back in the day, you'd only see the ones that are kind of like had made it to the platform because there weren't no social media. So
yeah, true.
Do you get what I mean? But there were like,
there were people that probably had like similar-ish.
Yeah, it's like living in that golden. And don't get me wrong, there was a golden age, I believe, of hip hop, especially.
What would you say the golden age is?
Between late 80s, early 90s, for me, because that was my influences of hip hop. But then it's mad, isn't it? Because it's just an age perspective and where it's like me talking to my dad and him telling me about something from the 50s.
Yeah, you would say like that's the golden.
Do you know what I mean? So it's just it's that perspective, I think. But yeah, I think, what was we saying? Yeah, so I think it's platforms that's also like, because
enabled everyone to see everything.
It's endless. It gets exhausting. Like constantly, I'm always hearing that flow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And like I say, I'm always hearing it too, and it makes it hard to tap in because it's like it's one of them ones now where the beat can kind of carry a person to some extent.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
The person doesn't have to be amazing if the beat's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is not bad. It's not bad. Credit where credit's due in it, because then the producer who's done it is cool, not taking nothing away from no one else.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, but what? Strip all of that back. What's your own creativity type of thing?
Yeah. Because it's like, because back in the day, because the only influence I had was like my dad's record collection, right? So each record I put on is different.
Yeah.
Where now, if you pick up a phone and if I'm going like this and every flow is the same, of course that's going to go into me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is the thing I need to do. Oh yeah, and then unless you go on a journey and meet a man, and meet another man, and meet a woman, and meet another woman, and they tell you, nah, don't do it that way. There's this. Or do it that way, but add this.
Yeah. Or if someone goes to you, oh, you've got a really good thing in here. Why not do more of that?
Yeah.
And then it kind of shapes your thing. Like if someone goes,
exactly.
oh, you know, you can sing a little. Why don't you try like singing a bit more on your tracks? And then you go, oh, okay. And then you infuse whatever you have.
Yeah. And I think your generation is a little bit hard on yourselves in terms of that, because I think what you're missing out is that there's an actual journey to it. Because if Jay-Z got signed in 1986. I mean, started rapping in, say, 86 and then got signed in 96. He's done 10 years of graft and working on his style. And he's gone through many styles.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Where you lot have got to give yourself that time. But now, because you're constantly being told, quick,
yeah. And I think I suffer from this as well, innit? It's a patience thing. Yeah. We're so used to everything having to be now. Because everyone makes it like now. That if you don't feel like you're achieving stuff now, that's it, you're not achieving. Yeah. Like, you're left behind.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things we have that's a problem with our generation.
Yeah. I mean, do the now, but be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And realise that the craft takes time. You can't just jump on a piano and just...
It takes time to get to learn anything. Like, even me, like when I started, there's nothing to how I am now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everything... You go through the stages, like my producing got better, my singing got better, my writing got better. Do you know what I'm saying? Everything takes a little time, but we are hard on ourselves to think, oh, we ain't doing it right now, it's not cutting it.
Exactly.
And it's like, but we should sometimes just go, you know what, okay, things are meant to be how they're going to be, in it. You don't, like you say, you don't just hop on the piano and start going, take time. You gotta, when you plant an acorn, you gotta get some dirt on it to grow in it. Yeah. And if without the dirt, it ain't growing.
Yeah. And I think it's hard as well because bits with the social media, there's bits that's missed off as well because like, music is a thing of like making it and thinking, but also it's like, music's great for your mental health. Music, like, there's a spiritual side to music. There's music's gonna like build confidence in people. There's a lot of people I've worked with, which maybe they didn't make it in music, whatever that means, because I just think making it's different for everybody. But what it did, it like for them rapping, they learned how to public speak maybe before they started rapping, they wouldn't go in and get an interview at a university because they'd be too scared.
Yeah, true.
It brought them out into a wider world and like gave them like tools, and it gave them like self-respect, and like, you know what, I have got a voice.
Yeah.
But it might be even just to start a business. It might be nothing to do. Music led to something else. So
yeah, it's kind of it
that as
helps
well,
people
you know?
with a lot of other things. Like I feel like for me, the music's helped me express in a way that I wouldn't usually be able to express. Like
Yeah.
I can talk about things in a different way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where I probably wouldn't have felt too comfortable talking about them before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I can kind of say, oh, this is how I feel in my roundabout type of way.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not how everyone else probably might say it. Okay, it's like because I used to dance as well.
Right.
So some people would say like, and I said this in like one of the other videos. Like some people will go, oh, when I'm sad I dance, when I'm happy I dance, and that's with me. If I'm vexed, I'm not dancing.
Yeah,
if I'm sad, I'm
okay,
not dancing.
okay. Yeah,
Happiness only. That's me only. But now with the music, I can go. If I'm happy, make music. Sad, make music. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, like you say, it does offer something different to every person.
I think so. And not having this like narrow-minded, because like I said, it's what's making it, and then how far does that go? Because I'm seeing people achieve something, but it being looked at like,
everyone's achievement's different to everyone else. Like if you take, let's say, like you say, a shy youth that he didn't really talk to no one, just kept himself to himself, and like you say, now he's getting job interviews, now he's speaking to people that he never would have spoke to.
Yeah.
It's like he's achieved a lot for himself. Like he probably would have never done that without that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like you say, everyone's making it is different. You can't compare just because someone has like many of riches and cars and chains and whatever they've made it, because that's not always so. That's not what everyone wants, innit?
No.
Some people want like a humbler thing.
Yeah.
Some people's thing is personal.
It's what you want, and knowing do you want it, because when I was working with Out the Ville and being a producer for Out the Ville, the one thing we knew, we all had a thirst for, was like, we're going to show them London, man. We're going down.
Yeah.
But we actually did it though. Like we went down there. We would like wait till 4 o'clock in the morning, or be on Westwood and he's putting us on at 3 o'clock at the end of the show. And it's like, which we were really grateful for at the time, but it's like, it's that graft. And if you do want to make it in that way, in I don't know what you call it, like the mainstream, it's knowing there is rules to it, and you do have to put the graft in, and it's extremely hard work.
You can't cheat the work.
No,
you can't cheat
really,
the work.
You know what I mean?
That's one thing I've always said, you can't cheat the work.
Yeah, exactly.
If you really want it, you got to put in the work. Because when people say, sometimes people say to me like, oh bro, I'm thinking of producing, or I'm thinking of getting my own little studio set up, and they go, how much did yours cost? And I'm like, here's the list, it costs this much, this much, this much. You may not have to get exactly everything I have, there's other sources of stuff, but you're going to have to put in the hours.
Yeah,
you're going to have to like find your money from wherever you find your money, buy the equipment, learn how to use it.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
And just having a plan, because without the Ville, we had a plan, and we executed that plan. For 10 years, we executed that plan. But yeah, it's just having a plan, and like, I mean, you might just want 500 loyal fans and build a fan base.
Yeah.
You might want signed and be on a Stormzy level. I don't know, but it's having a plan and like,
and knowing where you want to go with it.
Yeah, working really hard at it, I guess. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's very true. So I've asked you a lot, but like, what do you do in your downtime, innit? Because I always like to ask people what they do in their downtime.
Maybe it's no, I don't. I do a lot of this. I do a lot of coffee shops, sipping coffee. I do reading, audiobooks, walking the dogs, chilling with my 2 boys. I love walking, like nature and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, reading.
So what, do you go like to nature preserves type of thing, or is it just like around?
Yeah, I have done. Yeah, walking, like could be like Peak District, or could be nature reserves, or just going Coppers Park in St Anne's, or on the forest in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So just like the whole experience of walking in its
I just love walking. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Exercising, trying to keep healthy, eat healthy. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
And the coffee shop, so you're an avid coffee drinker. Like, what's your coffee drink? I'm not a coffee drinker or a hot drinks drinker per se.
Yeah,
but like, what's your
espressos? But at the moment, I'm doing flat whites, so it's coconut milk, and usually it's decaf coffee that I drink. But I'm having caffeine today.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit more.
To start the day off
Like
right,
up
innit?
for
It's
the
like,
interview,
yeah. Start the day off right, be a bit more buzzing and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. No, that's cool. That's cool. So you just, because I always find it important to see what people do in the downtime, just because it's like, what someone does in their downtime is actually very important.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like what relaxes your mind? Because what may relax your mind may not relax my mind.
That's true.
Do you know what I'm saying? Vice versa. Because like in my downtime, I like to play games, watch anime in it, and little things like that. But then some people will be like, oh no, the animating's just gonna stress me, or playing games is just a bit too much, innit? So everyone's thing's different.
Different, yeah. It's true. Yeah, that's my downtime. I mean, if I'm honest, I don't make beats how I used to. It's slowed down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where before I could churn out 5, 6, 7 beats a day. Like now, it's just like, it's kind of someone messages me and like, oh, will you make me a beat? I make them a beat. But it's like, because I've been doing it so long. But I might, I spend time on the piano. I still play my saxophone. So even in my downtime, music's a big part of my downtime.
Yeah, it's part of who you are, though.
That's it.
I've got questions for you, though. Like, doing it as long as you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get tired of it?
Yeah, like I said, I think music is a great journey, but it's also painful. Do you know what I mean? There was a time where I couldn't make a beat. I think it was like 3 years. I weren't into making music. I was just doing it because I had to do it. Like I was working with artists, and because I'm doing it so long, it's like a default mechanism where I can just kind of like do it. But there's a difference of doing it and your heart and head being into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I remember it. I bought a laptop and I got Ableton, and I thought, you know what? Let me go in a coffee shop. And then for some reason, I just like, I opened up Ableton, and it was kind of my first time on Ableton. And then I just felt this feeling, and I was just like, oh my gosh, she's back. She's walked back in my life. And that's how it felt. So music's always like left me, come back, left me, come back. It's just been like it's a constant journey, because it's an overthinking thing with musicians and creatives in general. You can either create dreams or you create nightmares in your own head. A lot of the time I'm creating nightmares, right? So it's like I struggle with like, I can't make a beat. Every producer will know. And even rappers maybe. You do an 8-bar loop.
You dash it away. You dash it. You go. You spend the time making it. And you go. I don't like how none of that sounds.
Exactly.
And you just scrap it.
Yeah.
You scrap it.
I just end up doing 8-bar loops. 8-bar loops, and then just turning it off. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, because you get frustrated with yourself, like you say.
And then Instagram came in, so validation's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Because I can just do an 8-bar loop, put my camera on, and go, job done, work done.
Yeah, people can go, oh my gosh, you're amazing.
And then I'm getting like comments, and I'm thinking, it's an 8-bar loop, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like you haven't even finished the beat. Yeah. But people eating it up, like, oh my god, it's amazing.
But I guess it started to turn into, now it's like snapshots of creativity that you can let out into the world. Yeah. And people react with that and like talk to you about it. So
as good as it is bad, innit? Because it does help. It helps to some extent, because then people can be like, oh, if it can pique their curiosity, like, oh, well, what is that? Let me see if there's the rest of that. Let me try and find it. Like, for example, if people heard like a small snippet of a song, they'd be like, oh, what is the song? Let me go research it. But then some people are not bothered about the song. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, some people are just happy with the snippet, and then they don't care about it. They're like, the snippet was cool.
But just to go back to your question, like the struggle, that is it. It can just be an 8-bar loop, but really I want it to be a whole song. Yeah. But I'm just struggling with music, or like I'm not in that vibe at the moment, or so it goes on and off. Do you know what I mean?
But then at the same time, I've took to learning this a lot recently. What is to be will be, in it. Like if the song was meant to be a full song, it would be a full song. That's true. If it wasn't, it wasn't. There was a reason why you didn't make it a full song. Yeah. Because sometimes it's like, I've done it so many times, I've gone, that's it, I'm not doing this music thing no more, it's frustrating me, I'm nowhere, Then I go back and I go, let me just hop into the studio again, And then I make probably one of the best songs I've made in a long while. And then it's like, wow, then you fall back in love and you're like, bow. And it just gives you that boom, 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 boom.
It is a hard thing to leave. Once it gets in your soul, it's hard. That's the good thing about music, or any art form. I think it's hard to like.
It's hard to kind of just walk away from it. Like
you can't walk away.
Once it's embedded in you, it's like it's embedded. Yeah. It's like part of your thumbprint.
Definitely.
It's there.
And it's navigating it. It's just navigating in the right way, navigating the pain, balancing it all, being kind to yourself, self-love, and just try and keep going. I think.
Yeah.
And like keep creating.
Because it's like going into the gym, innit, when people say, oh, I had a bad day at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say to people that tell me that, oh, I had a bad day in the gym today. I'm like, well, bro, at least you went.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go.
Yeah.
You had a bad day in the gym, but you went. You still done the workout.
Yeah, it's true.
You still kept the body healthy. Like, it wasn't, okay, you didn't mentally feel like you done a lot, but you still done it, did you not?
Yeah.
You still made your time worth going done. Like, you didn't just get to the gym and then just walk away. You still went, let me get in the gym, let me pump that chest, blah, blah, blah.
It's weird because my experience as well, going through pain in music and battling. I remember battling with artists. I've done albums with artists and like we've had battles, like arguments, but it's been my best work. Do you get what I mean? Because there's something in that struggle and pain sometimes, and then if you can push through it, amazing things happen.
Yeah.
It's just pushing through that pain and not giving up on it. Do you know what I mean? So
it's kind of not like running away at the first hurdle type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to build a wall straight away. You just have to build brick by brick.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes it's a living battle.
Yeah.
But some amazing things can come out of creatively. Amazing things can come out of it. So yeah, it's just pushing through, I guess.
Yeah, man. Well, Nick, I don't want to keep you waiting, innit? Because
Nice.
you're a busy man. Thank you for giving me the
All right.
time.
Bless you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're out. Peace.